Dr. Park, you have written and shared with us the notion of building foundations for youth ministry with young women around 4 R's: realization, resistance, resiliency, and rituals. Could we just go through those a bit? What do you mean by realization, and what would a practice be that a youth minister could do to facilitate that realization?
Okay. When I use these 4 R's, I really want people to think about ministries that make a difference to the young people, that they feel empowered. They can actually make a difference in the world in the ministry. So by giving them these skills to what I think will empower them to make a difference in the world, can be done through this method of the R. So realization is basically thinking in terms of what Paulo Freire called conscientization. How do you raise the conscious? How do you make aware for a young person, a young woman, what is actually happening? And I've illustrated if girls have come to a decision that they want to make a difference around domestic violence in the world, what questions, what critical theological questions do you need to engage them in thinking about so that they can be realizing the issues here? Not just checking in on the level of how I feel, but starting with how I feel to go deeper to say, what are the systemic problems here? Why is there gender violence? Who benefits? Who is privileged in this? And then I believe that once they are empowered to think about these questions that are at the heart of the matter, that's of the systemic problems underneath this just the domestic violence, then they can move to a place of resisting. Now, resisting can be on a personal level, but it can also be on a structural, political level. Resisting can be as much as a young woman who takes initiative to be an advocate in a court for girls who've been trafficked. Most anyone can come to a court and sit, right? That's what I'm talking about, a resistor. A resistor also can be a person who has experienced domestic violence themselves, and they take a stand for telling their story as a way of resisting, as well as being a listener for others like them so that they can resist. And third, resiliency, or resilient, being resilient. What I mean by that is a reordering, a refocusing, a type of fortitude that is necessary to bend but not break, that we want girls to come into. The resisting moves to a type of resiliency. And I think to kind of do this more full circle, that we have to invite girls into celebrating as well as lamenting through ritual. Ritual that kind of comes up organically from their time together, or even alone when they have realized that, you know what, I have kept coming back even though I have been beaten down. And then they can celebrate in ritual. My favorite way of doing ritual is dancing. To invite young girls to spontaneously move into an act of pulling themselves together in this form of celebrating through some form of ritual. We know very well that women who are in solidarity with other women who are suffering from breast cancer have ritualized the cutting of hair. That's a ritual of solidarity. What if girls who think about other girls who have been trafficked, like the 276 girls in Nigeria, decided that they would ritualize adorning their heads with wraps to say, I'm in solidarity with the girls who've been kidnapped until they come home. That's what I mean by ritual. It does something for the soul that doesn't really have words for us. It has to start with giving them new ways to think about a problem that could start with themselves through realizing this is happening to me, but it moves broader and deeper into what's going on here systemically through what I call critical theological questioning that we don't always have the answers for, But if we give them the tools to ask the questions, that's helpful. From there, it moves to resistance, resiliency, and ritual.